So great to see you all, and I've invited this is my first time live, and so we just have to be ready for whatever happens. And I've invited Kristen McClure to join me, which
Mhm.
I've never met her before,
We're
so
just
we're meeting
meeting for
in
the first
real
time.
time. This whole thing is very unlike me. For anybody that knows me, this is completely unscripted and unplanned, and that's one of the reasons I want to be on Substack now, to have a much closer relationship with all of you, a much wider group of people that I can be in contact with. And so that was one of the reasons I'm doing this, and to really not wait 2 years for me to write something and then get it published and go through 10 different editing processes. So I can write and I can post. And so that was
Every
one of my
day.
motivations. Yeah. So I'm working really hard, and it's a really hard learning curve. Kristen and I are both saying we're having trouble just figuring how to communicate. I've never been on social media before, so that's why I'm not used to everything coming in at once for me. So this is Kristen McClure, and I just noticed her out of all the confusion and millions of people out there, because I said, "Wow, that sounds like the same way I think." And so Kristen, I became aware of, is this therapist for women with ADHD. She's been a therapist for like the same amount of time I have, and she's working with. We're both therapists, both have ADHD, diagnosed or undiagnosed, and we're both on Substack. So I feel like we have a lot in common. So I wanted just to say hi and take any of your comments over here, and I will try to track. See some people that I've known for years and years and years. There's Peggy Clover. I met so many people, like whatever, like in 90. 3, I think, was our first adult ADHD conference. So I met some people way back then. Um, but Kristen's been on a long time on Substack now, so she's an old pro. Kristen, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and say what you do, and
Yeah,
why
sure.
you wanted to join Substack, be on Substack.
Well, I wanted to join the live just to meet you, but
Yeah.
um, I've been a therapist for about 30 years and I've done all kinds of things. I started working with ADHD women about 10 years ago, and I run a coaching community, which is a group for women, a supportive community for women where they can learn together and support one another as they're kind of growing and learning. And so I started kind of promoting my ideas on TikTok originally, which is, whew,
Yeah.
that's a unique place.
Yeah, I bet. I
And,
haven't been that brave yet.
well, that's a fun place. And then I did a little bit of that on Facebook. And then when I moved to Substack, I really think I found my ideal group of women. So a lot of the women in my group now are from Substack, and they are just an incredible group of women that are really a great fit for my model and the way that I think, which is a lot in line with the way that you think, Sari. And I just love Substack. It's a great place to kind of promote my ideas and to get women for the community and for the group that I run. So that's really one of the main reasons that I'm on Substack.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to use it more like a community. I've had this idea for years of wanting to figure out how to have a community, and some of us have all thought about doing that on Zoom, but now I feel like I can put everything under this one roof, and we can have more lives. Like I'm going to have, I'll tell you at the end, more live events on Zoom. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
people here, we can still be on Zoom and have a community of people face to face, and I can just much more accessible.
I love these like little like Q&As that you've been doing where you've been like recording those little videos of yourself and answering the questions that people write
Yeah.
in.
Well, I'm trying to make the whole thing reasonable. I don't want people to think, "Oh my god, she's not even following her own advice. She's working too hard." So I've got it more manageable now. So like on Tuesdays, my paid subscribers actually, they can send in questions, and I need those questions, and I can just turn on just like a question and answer period,
Mhm.
and but I can make it available to everybody. So that's helpful. And then on Monday, I just do this little Sari says, which I have a famous quote, and then I give my rap on it. And then I use a lot of my old excerpts, and
Yeah.
also like on Friday, I have this treasure chest because I have so much old stuff that no one's ever seen, and essays I've written. And so that's so much fun to, get it out of all my piles and all my files and get it out there to people. So that's really been fun. Yeah.
You've been writing a lot.
Yeah, I've been doing it. Well, I'm, at a different stage of my career now. I'm not taking new clients. I still do consultations with therapists. I've been having a lot of groups for therapists with ADHD lately, but I'm trying to actually just get everybody to come here, and it just makes more sense. It's so reasonable, even if people pay it. It's like nothing compared to one event or something a year. So I'm happy that makes it much more accessible. So yeah, I've been writing a lot and I've been getting good feedback, and I like having the interaction of being close because since the pandemic, I don't go so many places anymore. So I'm older. I don't go. Used to travel all the time, all
Mhm.
over. So I've lost that. I've missed that kind of close interaction, and now we have so many tools that I can do that. But tell me about, it seems like you write a lot about. I think we think alike because we both see women with ADHD in therapy, and if you see women with ADHD in therapy, you're going to see the same things, right? I mean,
Mhm.
and you talk about shame a lot, I think, yourself, don't you?
I think I probably talk and think a lot like you because I've been influenced a lot by you.
Oh, maybe. Well,
Because
thank
I've
you.
read everything you've written.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, it is hard being a pioneer, like they say. I was looking at pioneers. I mean, they don't always get it all right, and and they take a lot of flack at first. And I wrote that first column for this about how that happened, and you should go back and look at it. It was traumatic at first, trying to break into the sort of white male authoritarian kind of academic world, and a lot of gatekeepers. A lot of these women here today were there at the time, and they've been there since the beginning. And women had a fight to be, seen and heard, and to be able to define for themselves. And I think that happened during the pandemic again for a whole new generation of women, where the gatekeepers got, lower, and women now are really defining, what their own experiences are. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, things have changed.
Yeah. So I think a lot about when I'm working with ADHD women. I think a lot about, so much of what you have talked about. Of course, shame is a big one. Of course, being brave and finding your voice and finding your authentic self and unmasking, all of those things are so important. I think a lot about all of the things that we've learned from, other women about all women, all of the female pioneers who taught us about women in general. I don't think that ADHD women are different from neurotypical women in that they have all of the disadvantages that all women have. And so, those things aren't any different. We just have one other layer that ADHD
Okay.
women are dealing with, which is that, that one other strike against them, which is that they're neurodivergent and they're living in a world that is designed for neurotypical people. So I think all those things are things that I, work with and talk about. And it's, I think, some of those things like resonate, and they're not really new. They're not new things that we're talking about. They resonate so much because, because of those issues across the board are relevant for women.
Right. So women are used to being dismissed, not listened to, not seen. But for women with ADHD, there's that whole other layer of, well, because they're not diagnosed often until
Right. Right.
later,
Mhm.
their self view is very distorted. So it's much harder for them to even work through that because they don't even know what they're dealing with. And then all their difficulties become conflated with the way they view themselves. So it's not like they can just easily, you know, transform by thinking differently. It takes a long, slow time. That's, as therapists, I think we see that it's not a quick fix. It's not
That's right.
overnight. And a lot of women come in, they want to get fixed right away. They say,
That's
can I
right.
just get over this case of terminal uniqueness? Like a client said
Right.
to me once,
Can you just fix me?
just
Like
fix me.
you had written that
Yeah.
post like yesterday or the day before about like you've never had a woman come in who didn't, just want to be fixed, who didn't come in and say like, can you just fix this part of me?
Yeah.
Can you just fix this about me? And, I think one of the things that has been so heartbreaking for me is that was so much still. I mean, still you see a lot of therapists and a lot of therapy models promoting that idea that that's what we have to do, is we have to fix ADHD people. And that is, it's so new for women to hear that you're not going to do that, and that's not something that has to happen for them. And I think it's like, you know, liberating on a lot of levels for them to hear that they actually don't need to be fixed.
Right.
And
So much you have to fight against. You have to fight for that point of view because they're so used to people telling them to get over it and get fixed and be different and change who they are that at first, you know, they don't want to hear that. In a way, it's ironic, right? So it takes a while to convince them to slow down, but yeah, and just to let them breathe and relax and be themselves and move toward whoever they really are. And you know, that's what we tried to talk about in that Radical Guide. With you should probably see that with Dr.
I have
Frank.
4 copies of that.
Well, we've been working hard. That's why I was saying it's frustration of the 2 years. Our revision is coming out at the beginning of next year, and we've made a lot of changes culturally.
Really?
Well, so much has changed in the culture that we wanted us to change it. So we've changed a lot of it, some of it. And but that's our basic premise. It was funny. It was like radical was like sarcastic as a radical idea that you could just, you know, be yourself instead of trying to fix yourself. That was like the radical idea about it. But it's like what you're saying. There's your brain, and then there's your chronic struggles, and then there's who you are at root, who your core sense of self is. And for women with ADHD, that all sort of gets conflated until therapy or in other groups with other women who you can see their strengths better than you can see your own. And so that's why it's great that you're doing groups, because groups, I think, are such a powerful, especially for women with ADHD, because you can't deny that you think these other women are amazing, and yet they have the same struggles as you. So it forces you to sort of shift your own self-image.
The groups are unbelievable. You know, last year, I had these women. So I have them meeting. I have them in my coaching. I had to start a coaching business because obviously you can't do therapy across state lines yet, even though they're working on that. And so the groups have women from all over. Some of them are from other countries or from all different states. But because I'm in North Carolina, there's a group of women that were in North Carolina. And like last year, these women started like meeting outside of like the virtual groups that I was doing that were like an hour and a half every Sunday they run all year long. So they're committing to like 40 weeks.
Wow.
Which is, if you think about it, who would think ADHD women would be meeting for 40 weeks? Not only they're meeting for 40 weeks, but they don't want the group to end. And then they're meeting outside of the group. So they start meeting outside of the group and like doing these activities together when they're local outside of the group. And like they're sending pictures to me like in my email, and like they're doing these activities from like the workbooks that I've made, like art projects, and sending me these pictures and saying, oh, look what we're doing. Like
all these ripple effects that just keep going on in people's lives.
It's because the women are like together so amazing and powerful and supportive of one another. It's just it's so heartwarming to see. It's like the effect of like the individual one-on-one is just like magnified when they're
exactly
like
so if you can't find a therapist out there, you have to be in a group either online or in person. Just meet other women who are neurodivergent or go to a conference, something that, you know. I hate going to conferences usually, and those conferences for me were life-changing. Those, you know, the ADHD conferences are for everybody I know have just been life-changing, because I talk about it in my first book, what it was like in '93, the first time I went to an adult conference with other people with ADHD, and nobody had ever had that experience. There was 200 people all in a room together, interrupting, laughing, spilling, you know, losing their keys. And like, it was like, you never realized, but everybody was relaxed because you don't realize how much you were always holding so much tension out there trying to pass for normal. And this is the first time that
you could actually be like yourself.
And you didn't realize it because you were just barely diagnosed back then. Well, let's see if we have any questions that have come up. Everybody, if you want to write a question or a comment, I'm going to be looking now, you know, and it would help us out to have.
Gosh, there's so many people here.
Yeah, and this is just live. So, what? Bianca says hi, excited to watch the first live. Terry says hi. Anybody got a comment? I know you're out there, and I know a lot of you. Can I go up and watch these other comments? Let's see if I go like this, because there's somebody above Bianca that I can't see. The older ones. Okay. Well, you watch for it. So I think there's a way you can write it. Here, can I write a message in here?
Yes.
Oh, let me see. Maybe that's for me to write. Okay. Hi, everyone. You can see how I can't spell everyone. Any comments? I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna go add these live. I don't know who's seen what, but I'm adding every month. I'm adding like one thing a week that's live, where and some of it's very hard for me. I have to admit, it's the first time I'm going to be denying some access to people. This is like so anti who I am, but I'm doing this full time now, and
Yes.
I'm not taking anything away from anybody, but I'm just adding. So like today, my go lives are going to be like anybody can come, but like people, that's just for live, and then replays. This is how I'm thinking.
That's for your subscribers.
Yes,
right?
I'm trying. It's the first time I'm going to do that today, and then I'm going to have 2 different kind of live sessions once a month, or one time, maybe once a month. I'm going to have these reflection groups for people. I wanted to start this for this inner work kind of thing. That's what I talk about on Thursdays, but I started that because I realized aging, illness, all these things have faced, they're just like the same skills that I had to learn for living with ADHD. And when
That's
I realized they're all the same things, that's got me excited about the inner work. However old people are here, it's going to help you in this stage or the next stage or all the way through life to have this acceptance of change, and to the struggle is part of what's beautiful about life, and to sort of reframe the difficulties. And so we're going to have a Zoom group once a month for people who want to talk about those things, and I will record that for the paid people who can't come. And then people are doing this questions and answer live things a lot. I'm calling it brunch, lunch, or tea with me, depending on your time zone. So I'll vary the times depending on where you are.
Mhm.
Now that'll be like paid subscribers can come. We can just have a free floating comments for paid subscriptions. What does that mean? Yeah.
People who aren't paid subscribers can't come.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. And then that Tuesdays, I'm having people who are paid subscribers write, but I'll still do the answers for everybody. So
When did you start a question?
if somebody has a question, thank you. Do you seem to notice emotional dysregulation at the core of many of the ADHD women you see? What do you think? Kristen?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the stress of, a lot of the things that women are expected to do can cause emotional dysregulation. That's something that is a big part of, working with ADHD women. I mean, I guess it depends on how you define emotional dysregulation, but struggles with, knowing your emotions, like your relationship with your emotions, feeling comfortable expressing your emotions, and then the stress that ADHD women are under and how that impacts their ability to do all of those things is definitely a big part of something that I see in my work with ADHD women.
That's
what would you say, Sarah?
That's how I see it. I think it's more, a lot of people can be emotionally dysregulated, for a lot of other reasons. So I think for the women I see with ADHD, it's like living with ADHD is emotionally dysregulated because it's very difficult. It's overwhelming. It's, and so who wouldn't be emotionally dysregulated for this kind of, tossing and turning of your brain and the difficulties that women have to deal with, the emotional labor that women have to participate in, the extra invisible labor that they do, that they don't give themselves credit for, that it's invisible. So it's not like they're out mowing the lawn and everybody can see that. They're taking care of a million women in general of all the details for everybody in the house. And when you have ADHD, that adds a tremendous amount of strain. And so, sure, we're emotionally dysregulated. We have to learn how to handle that. But I think for me, I see that more of a function of just living with an ADHD brain and being a woman.
That's right. Yeah, me too.
Let's see. She's giving me a lot of prompts. I have an assistant here who's really helping. And all the changes that are taking place in the world, what have you seen that has remained the same for women with ADHD? Well, that's funny because there's so much changes in the field of women with ADHD and so much more cultural awareness and so much more awareness and acceptance of neurodivergence and so many more opportunities. But yet in therapy, when push comes to shove, deep down, especially if you weren't diagnosed early, and even if you were, the pressures on women to perform in a certain way, to be the right kind of mother, wife, friend, or employee, and the shame or embarrassment or difficulty when that's difficult, I feel in a lot of ways hasn't changed that much. What about you, Kristen?
I got distracted.
I could tell. It's so nice to have a friendly audience, a neurodivergent audience. Is great, right? You feel like it doesn't matter. I was saying, and you think I can remember what I just said? That was a great unscripted moment. I think that what I was saying, this is like memory problems and distractibility all in one frame here, right? What was I saying? I said that, even though things have really changed in terms of cultural awareness of ADHD and acceptance, deep down in therapy, you see that women still struggle with all the feelings of shame and failure, not good enough, and comparing with other women still.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh yes, yeah. I mean, I do see like a shift, somewhat of a shift. Because it's not straight like you are disordered, you are dysfunctional. I mean, it is entered the chat that there is like there is the acceptance on some level, and like there is familiarity with like this language of affirming, neurodivergent affirming, and so like if you say it, there isn't immediate like you're crazy to even suggest this.
A lot,
but it's still deep down there. This deep sense of shame and defectiveness and comparison, and but there's like a little bit more receptivity, I think, to the ideas than even like maybe 4 years ago. Like when I would have people come into the group or whatever, I would lose people immediately when they would hear that they weren't going to be fixed. I would lose 50% of the people in the group, whereas now I can retain people much more easily, when they hear that that's not what this is about,
Right.
But I still think it's so deep. I mean, it's deep for all of us, like we all have, I think, this internalized misogyny. These things are so deep, but I think, but I hope I'm answering the right question.
No, I think
space out a little bit.
We can go from question to question. But also, it's for neurodivergent women when they're with neurotypical family members or in those kind of situations where you have to be with certain kind of people and they're neurotypical. And then when it's right in your face and you can't avoid it, you can't just be with supportive people. So I think, or in partnerships, sometimes that's where, there's much more of a acceptance and understanding now than there ever was before. Before, when I had to call up to get medication in 1993, the pharmacist wouldn't tell you what medication they had. They thought you were casing the joint to see if you were asking for a stimulant. So, I mean, the whole culture has shifted a lot.
There's a little bit of that still, I think, but it's, there's a recognition that that's discriminatory now.
Yes.
There's a little bit, it's shifted. I mean, like it's shifted a little bit, but it's still.
Yeah, the culture is just, suddenly see what people are saying. Oh, it's going so fast. Why is it shifting like that? Okay. So Dana, but if we were fixed. Oh, she's so great. She's like finding these little things, and she's putting it on the screen for me to see. This is amazing.
What a good assistant.
I know. Katie Buckman. Hi, Kristen. I'm part of her current group, and I can't say it's been life, and I can say it's been life-changing. She says about your group. Thank you for both of us. And Elizabeth, thank you. Is there any other questions? Let's see. Kat, why? What's wrong, Peggy? Oh, she was unable. Oh, she's okay now? Okay. So who wrote that? Cat? Which cat? Is it Cat S?
It just says cat.
Cat. I got 2 cats, so it's really, I think this is the other cat. I am hearing about masking and ADHD. I thought that was more of a trait for people with autism. Could either of you explain masking as it relates? Great question, as it relates to ADHD. Well, yeah, I mean, all of our great things about neurodivergence and all this has been taken from the autism community originally. This idea of not seeing things in the brain as pathological, but accepting who we are, not as compared to some normal out there. Certainly masking might have come from the term also from the autistic community at first, but people with ADHD now, and we talked about early on, I mean, I might have called this something else originally, hiding, but pretending. And I say in one of our books that masking, hiding, it's like the biggest compensation that women say they do to get by, is they hide who they are. That's just a terrible way to live. But this masking is deliberately covering up who you are to survive. And it's okay if you're doing it on purpose, and like any minority has to learn how to get along in a majority world. And sometimes in what situations that's different than it coloring who you are internally and you hiding it out of fear. So masking means that you're not really be able to be yourself, but once in a while, sometimes you have to determine. That's what we changed in our new book. We used to say, oh, try to be yourself. Now we say, you have to discern who's safe, who's not safe, and when to unmask and why and how. So it's a little bit more, complicated than I think we even said in our first book. What do you see, Kristen?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that a lot of the information we take about masking is from the autistic community, because there's been more research done on, there's a bigger advocacy.
Yeah.
There is a bigger advocacy community around autism than there is ADHD. Mm-hmm. And so that's the reason why there's some, like, everything you said is true. I agree with everything.
Thank you. I like you. Can't everybody be like you? Can't my husband be like you? I love that. I agree with everything you said. Wow, you're my new best friend.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Katie Buckman, but she says, I like what she says, but it's just moving around. Where'd she say? If you, she said,
find out how much you've been masking,
yeah,
then you have to figure out who you are.
Right, but then she said something about if we would be boring if we were just like everybody else. I apologize. My chat is going up and down, so I see something and then it moves.
Yes.
Can I move it?
If we're fixed, we would be boring.
But if we were fixed, we would be boring, she said. Yeah, that was true. Okay, let me see. Oh, Peggy wants to know where you are in North Carolina, because she's in North Carolina too.
Oh, really? I'm in Charlotte.
Okay.
I'm in Charlotte. Peggy, where are you?
I'm not sure where Peggy is, but she can answer if she wants. Can I just scroll up and see the other people on here?
Yeah.
How do I scroll? Here, just scroll up for me. Oh, there you go. How'd you do that? Okay. Wow. It's really good to have a tech assistant around here. Okay. So Terry thinks this is great. Okay. Okay. Well, we're getting near the end here. So anybody have any other comments? How do you both interpret ADHD? Is that a thing? Is that just a social media phrase, or are there a lot of women with both autism and ADHD? That's a great question. Any comments? This is I think there's only one cat on there. Yeah.
Are we only doing this for a half hour?
Well, I didn't really say. I think what did I say? A half hour to 45 minutes. I mean, we don't have an exact deadline yet.
We don't have a time.
It's when I run out of things to say. We run out of questions. If ladies if you want to keep going, just keep writing and we'll keep talking. So what do you say? You see more people probably, and more young people probably right now. So you might see more women who identify with that ADHD.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you could see these questions, but you said, is that a thing, a real thing?
Yeah, this is such a hard question because I honestly feel like the definition, I do not feel like I am an expert in this, and I feel like the definition of autism is changing constantly, and it's very hard to speak to this with expertise.
What's your experience?
Yes, I do not feel like it is just a social media phrase. I feel like there is a lot of disagreement about this in the professional community. I think there are women who are both autistic and ADHD. I don't know about a lot of women, but I think there certainly are women that I see in my practice who would identify as both autistic and ADHD.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I can speak to how I would interpret it. I can say that I think it's a thing, and I think that there are definitely women that are both autistic and ADHD.
I think eventually these things are just going to be, your brain is what it is, and you got a little, and this is how you are. I think
That's
these
right.
little labels are, helps us understand ourselves, but
that's right.
It's all changing because as we open up, I think, and we see ourselves as more whole, we keep putting in new things in there. But I mean, I just read something on Substack. For instance, for years, I never read other people, but on Substack, I started reading as an actual just woman, not an expert, the other day. And I said, oh my God, I was reading a lot of this about ADD. I said, I bet if I was coming online right now, I might think I have that, because it's such a spectrum. I mean, it's a spectrum, and there's so much crossover with ADHD. Who's to say exactly where it ends and starts? It's not an actual clinical, diagnosis right now. But this is, again, where women are saying this is my experience, and they're putting it out there. And
I think I have that same experience, and I think a lot of women, they identify that way. Like they would say, this is how I identify. When I learn about this is strongly what I suspect, or this is strongly how I identify. And so, that is certainly like what my clients would say, what my group members would say, that they feel that this is who they are.
Yeah, and if it's helpful, I mean, I identified with a lot of what I read the other day on Substack about that, so stay tuned, I'm sure all this stuff is gonna the DSM people is just a group of committee members, who decide on these things.
That'll take hundreds of years.
Right.
That gets updated. But
Kat says, couldn't it be less DSM diagnosis and more understanding? Of course, it should be like that, Kat. Yes, we shouldn't have a committee telling us if we're right or wrong about how our brain is, but there's got to be a way to get insurance reimbursement. And, it's all about, that stuff's all about, we had to go very medical in order to get ADHD recognized way back then and to get insurance to cover anything. And so there's different tools of this. Some things it's about that. Some things it's about actually the way we experience our brains and our lives. Kat says, no time limit, no need to stick to a subject. Love it. Thank you both. Okay. Who?
Elizabeth above.
Elizabeth above. Thank you both for being so open with us as your audience. It's definitely a challenge to live unmasked. Does anybody have any comments about what it's like to live unmasked? And I don't think any of us live unmasked all the time. I mean, that would be really scary and weird. I don't think anybody in the world lives unmasked. I mean, you can't. Right? I mean, you can't live unmasked all the time. And you have to choose your, battles, You can't be going places all the time, all day where you have to mask. So if you know I have to go to this thing, with my relatives or whatever, I have to, or with these people.
Better armor up for that one.
Armor up, right. Did you just make that up? I like that. Armor up. armor up, and then you got to take your armor off. It's too hard to live like that. But, but that's like about creating your life with ADHD in a way that's going to work for you, whether it's work or play or anything, you've got to, or anybody with anxiety, whatever it is, you have to know how you operate well and have to rearrange your life like that instead of fighting with it. Let me see. Kat, yes, we all have variability in our brains. Oh, wait. Sorry, it keeps shifting.
Cat is the newest one.
Where's Kat?
At the bottom.
Oh, rhythms dance is a place. 5 rhythm. Oh,
Nope.
okay. 5 rhythms dance is a place to live unmasked. Yes, we do have to armor up. I love that. But finding places to unmask is so important. Exactly. I started playing the drums recently again. I played 35 years ago, hurt my wrist, but now I have opportunity to play like once a week in my trap set, and that's very authentic. And my clients all talk about having to find nourishing things to do to counteract the stress, and so I'm doing that too now. Yeah. What is 5 rhythms? I don't know what 5 rhythms dance is, but sounds good. Bianca says it's definitely difficult. I recently graduated. Yay, Bianca just graduated. She's going to be a therapist. She just graduated. So if she's in a job interview session, scariest type of masking. Yeah, I love this unscripted format. Yeah, this is fun. Oh, she says she loves kickboxing. Yeah, this is really fun. What?
Cat said she likes.
Yeah, kickboxing. Yeah. Well, I just talked to 2 people in a group that, one's doing weight, lifting, and one's, so anything physical, I guess, to get rid of some of a lot of people feel a lot of anger right now and aggression in the world. And so they have to find a way to unwind.
I need to take a deep breath after thinking about that.
Yeah. Okay. So Kristen, this has been great. I think we should go on TV together or something. We could go live on a regular basis, so it's nice.
I'd be happy to do that.
It's fine. My people are meeting your people, I guess, too, which is nice, And I will call on you to find my way around this. I was so happy to know that, because I'm thinking, I'm the only one who can't figure out how to communicate with Kristen for like the last 2 weeks. Should I go this way? My daughter had to make flow charts, look at this place and look at that place. And then finally we found a way just to email. It's really hard.
You did great.
I know.
It worked out perfect.
So I think we're going to wind down. Now my next live event is question and answer sessions, brunch, lunch, or tea with me. It's on June 5th at 4:00 Eastern, and that's for people. It's not recorded, so you can just have free flowing questions, and that's for paid subscribers. But
so is it every live is for paid subscribers, or?
Well, there's 3 things. So there's Go Live, which is on this platform, and that's for everybody. But when you want to replay it, not live, that's for paid.
That's for paid subscribers. Does it come out in your newsletter?
I'm going to try to. Yeah.
Okay.
What? What were you just saying?
Does the recording for this?
I'm going to try this. I'm going to try it today.
You have to be subscribed to your newsletter on Substack to get that recording.
Everybody can see it. I don't know how your people can see it afterwards. I haven't figured that out.
They have to subscribe to your newsletter.
Oh, okay. They could do that.
Yeah.
And then the other kind of lives are on Zoom. So that's going to be great. The other 2, the reflection group, this is the only one on Substack. The other one, paid subscribers are going to be a reflection group where we talk about all those issues that I talk about on Thursdays, the inner work. And then that's going to alternate with this question and answer Zoom live. So those are 2-way. Both those are 2-way.
Okay.
I'm working. I'm trying.
Subscribers can do that. They'll get notice of that on.
Yeah. I'm going to post things, about when they're happening.
Okay.
So I'm just learning it all. But this is great. So we'll do this again. Oh, Liz Lewis, look at her. She just upgraded so she can participate in the chat. Great. Thank you, Liz.
Everybody's going to be a subscriber now.
Liz, I hope so, because, I really want to spend more and more time on this. And
that's great, Liz.
This is great. Liz has been great. Liz is great.
Like minds is what she said.
Like minds, yes. Okay. So I think everybody loved this because we were just really natural. And we have to do that again, Kristen.
I have that same little picture in my house.
Oh, you're kidding. That's a great artist.
I love
And
that.
all
little
these great,
artist.
all the therapists love this guy. What does that one say? I can't remember.
It's
But
like
this
the
is,
little,
yeah, this is my office. So people who haven't seen me before, so like my father had done that painting.
look at that gorgeous artwork.
He was a great artist down in South Beach in Miami, and he's not alive anymore, but he was old. But yeah, and then when I moved my office home during the pandemic, I moved everything into here. So I have a lot of my stuff around me, which is, nice to have. I've been on Zoom since the pandemic. So
Me too. Yeah.
yeah, so it's really nice to be with everybody. So any parting ideas? Liz has a new book coming out. Yay.
On June 18th.
When?
Oh.
June 18th. I can't believe it's
Oh
really
my
coming
goodness.
out. Liz, congratulations.
What's it called?
What's it called, Liz? Oh, Liz, are you going to write the name of your book? And Bianca says erratic. Oh. Where's Liz?
Liz said, Sarah, you are in it.
Oh, I'm in it? Okay. I'm in
You
the
are
book.
not the problem.
Okay,
I
yeah.
was waiting on
Bianca
that.
said that Radical Guide for
You
Women
Are
is.
Not the Problem is the title.
Oh, that's a great title, Liz. You are not the problem.
That's a great title.
That is a great title. I love that. She's worked so hard on that. So it's
I
great.
can't wait to get it.
Bianca says the Radical Guide is one of my favorite. I definitely recommend it. Bianca's been editing a lot of our stuff for us, so that's great. And great title, Liz. You're not the problem. How are we going to get that? Like, oh, boy, this is jumping all over the place now. Okay. Well, I think can I save the text of this? I wonder. We'll have to see if we can save the text so I can read everything that everybody said. Liz says you can order it everywhere, anywhere. Okay, well, I just want to wrap up by thanking everybody to come. How many people came live today? You're supposed to be able to see.
41.
Okay. Currently live, 41. Yeah.
Wow.
I
That's
don't know how many are here all together. They don't
So
just.
they let you know when people exit the chat.
Oh,
and no
yeah,
one has
so
exited the chat
Oh, no one's
since
exited the
yesterday.
chat since we've been here. That's good. Kat, what's that?
That's
Oh,
where you get the book.
Kat wrote the link for Liz's book. Very nice, because you're not the problem.
I am.
Kat is fast, yes. Okay. So any parting words? That was really fun. Kristen?
Thank you so much for letting me be on your live, Sari. That is just so cool. I'm so honored.
Well, we're going to do podcasts. I'll start podcasts. I'm trying to be sane. So I'm going to do these kind of things in June and July. And then in August, I'm going to try the program they have here, which is podcast, which is not live. And we'll do that again. Terry offered to be on my podcast too. So that's a function that they have here. I'm going to try out. So, all right, guys. Thank you for coming. It was a pleasure getting to know you. It was fun, like just meeting live like this for the first time. So, all right.
great.
Thanks, guys. Bye. What do I do now? How do I? Oh, end. Okay. Bye. That was obvious. Bye.